Hey, sis, thank you so much for joining the Rise with Diana podcast. I have a thought for you. I just want to say, your burnout, is it that you need another vacation or do you actually need restoration? Ooh, because how many times have you said, "Oh, I need a vacation"? Because you're feeling stressed out, burnt out, overwhelmed, and consistently lacking this deep sense of contentment. I mean, because I hear so many people say, I need a vacation. And then they go to vacation, but they're tired from the vacation. Not only are they tired from the vacation, it's because they never, ever, ever got the restoration that they need. And the restoration, my sister, guess where the restoration has to happen? In your soul. You need a soulcation, okay? That's what you need. You need a soulcation because you have not taken assessment of what it is that your soul needs, okay? And I just want to say, raise your right hand, say, okay, the next time I'm going to get a soulcation. Next time, I'm going to get, yes. So you need to understand this because a lot of you are feeling so burnt out, stressed out with everything going on. And actually, let me just go on and say this that a lot of you wear that as a badge of honor. And you also say things like, oh my God, I'm so busy. I got to do so many things and I got to do all this stuff. But really, do you? Honestly, do you? Or is it that you actually fill in all of that because you are codependent? Or you think that just you getting some rest means that you're not allowed to because you want to give this persona that you're so busy and that you're constantly working and you don't rest. That's not called wisdom, my sis. That's called stress. And that in that kind of mindset, I don't care if you take 10 vacations, you are not going to feel well. You are not going, your soul is not going to feel well, right? There's a song that we used to sing in church. It's called It Is Well With My Soul, right? And until you get to the point where you say, It is well with my soul, you will consistently be stressed out, burnt out, blaming other people for your circumstances, wondering why things don't come to you that the way that they should, questioning, doubting, overthinking, overanalyzing, being a perfectionist, and constantly blowing a lot of things out of proportion because you don't realize that your soul needs restored. And when you begin to start to restore your soul, you'll see a whole new path. I want to share this with you because the the I would say the straw that broke. I don't even like saying that because I ain't trying to break no camel's back. Why do we say that? I will say that the line in the sand experience for me, meaning like when I decided that enough was enough, was in 2020. I was depressed. A lot of you that follow me, you know that I had to make a serious decision in 2020 to know how to restore my soul. So, as you all know, 2020 was the pandemic, right? We're all COVIDed out. And I started to feel this overwhelming sense of, I just felt like overwhelm times overwhelm, right? Like I couldn't sleep. I couldn't swallow. I thought that there was something in my throat. I had a hard time speaking. I had a hard time sitting still without feeling like I was shaking. I was overly obsessed with thoughts and I was scared of myself. I couldn't get out of bed oftentimes. And when I would have meetings, I literally would get out of bed, wash my face, and make a filter happen on my Zoom because I was just my eyes were always puffy because I just felt literally felt like I was dying, honestly. And I don't know if you've ever felt like your thoughts could not stop thinking. And because my throat felt like there was something in my throat, I had a hard time swallowing, so I lost 20 pounds. So what my husband and I said that should do, he's like, "Oh, well, why don't you go on a vacation?" Right? Let's go on a vacation. Let's get away. Maybe you just need to get away. Well, we're not going anywhere in COVID, right? It wasn't until the end of 2020, about 2021, where they started releasing the restriction of travel. So I decided I would take a vacation and I would go visit my sister. And I did. And I didn't feel any better, right? And then I decided I'll go on another vacation and I'll go to DC. And maybe being away from, Toledo, my hometown, would make a big difference. It didn't make a difference, y'all. What I started to realize, number one, I needed restoration. I needed a soul check. And so what I began to do was a complete overhaul of Diana, right? Because restoration means to come back to, right? To means to come back to, and store means put back together, to actually build up. So I needed to come back to so that I could build up, right? Restore, renew, revive, right? Restore is such a big thing. I just don't hear people talking about that. And that's because it's called healing. I needed to heal. And there was not a leadership book that I could read. No one could tell me, oh, well, get up and just go for a workout. No, I needed a healing. So the vacation wasn't going to help. And that's what I'm trying to tell you, that the vacation that you think is going to help you isn't going to help you. What is going to help you is what I'm about to share with you. And the first thing that you need to understand is that you've got to realize, I don't want to live this way anymore. Like, you got to decide, I don't want to live like this, because it has become your identity. And until you decide, okay, I'm willing and open to change, will you change? Sadly, so many people have grown so comfortable with dis-ease, discomfort, and this discontent that has become their identity, that going a different way could actually plummet them, because they're like, I don't know any other way. So they would rather be in that than to be in the renewal. So you have to make a decision. Do you want to be well, or do you want to pretend that you're well? And that is the very first thing, because everything always changes at the dawning of a decision. So that's the first thing I want to tell you. Then the second thing that I really believe is critical, and I say this so many times, is that you really need to reach out for help. And it's not, you have to get to the point where you're like, this is good for me, because a lot of the people that listen to this podcast, we don't reach out for help. We are the helpers. We don't reach out for help. So when is it time you need to get for help? It's now, right? Because if you're saying, I got to go on a vacation, I got to go on a vacation, and you're just, it's time for you to really reach out for help. Where's one of the best ways to reach out for help? Well, I 100% believe in therapy, right? And I believe in trauma therapy, right? Because sometimes what we don't realize is that underneath the surface of everything is maybe some deep-seated trauma that you've never, ever analyzed. But first things first, I would start to reach out to a specialist in your area or online. There are several different types of resources that are out there, and we'll be sure to link some in the notes for you to begin to do that. Right. So the first thing is to decide. And the second thing is to actually reach out for help, to get yourself a therapist. And I really believe that the other area of help is to reach out to someone like myself, right? Because here's the thing, you've got to get with people who get this type of understanding, this type of knowing. And I'm just going to go out and say it that another leadership book, reading another leadership book, or actually reading how to get better on your job is not going to help you, sis. You've got to work on the within part. It's the internal part that we need restored, right? So those are those are first couple things. And then I would say that the third thing is you've got to start to believe in a different way, right? You have got to start to profess your restoration, your renewal. That, and I just believe in the power of prayer here. And I'm just going to go out and say this is that you need to go to God and ask for renewal. You need to go to God and ask God to show you what you're anxious about, show you where you are feeling this overwhelm. Because when you decide and you start to ask for the help, and I will say that the biggest helper that you can ask for is God, right, in prayer, and to ask for this. And so I just want to let you know how to pray for that because a lot of you aren't really understanding the power of prayer and how we are supposed to pray. So I need to share this with you. And you, for those of you who out there who get squeamish about me talking about God or whatever, you can insert the source of truth. You can insert the infinite intelligence. You can insert the universal knowing. I don't care. But what I do know is that it's powerful and it works, and I call it God. So, what I want you to know is that there is a code or a way that you're supposed to pray in order for it to actually come about, in order for your renewal, your restoration to actually be, is that number one, you will want to have a declarative statement. I am renewed. I am renewed. And so that declarative statement is restoration or renewal is mine. Renewal is mine. And from that declarative statement, what I want you to do is say, and I am so grateful for this. And you will want to give thanks for it. Why? Because you've got to believe it is already so. Once you decided that this is where you want to go, you don't want the fake stuff. You actually want the real restoration. You've got to believe that it's already so. And the scriptures say that you have to envelope yourself in this belief or this knowing of what it is that you want and whatever you ask for. But making the declaration, having thanks for what it is, and then feeling like, what does it feel like to be restored? What does it feel like to be renewed? Somebody like, I have no idea. You have no idea what it is to feel at peace. So, what I want to do is I want to give you a little glimpse of what that can feel like. And I want you to know, I want you to understand that there is an intelligence inside of your body that knows how to restore you, that knows how to bring yourself back into a sense of balance and wholeness. If you agree that you will do this, and here it is, breathing. You follow me on the Rise with Diana podcast, you know that breathing is one surefire way of allowing yourself to be restored. Now, not just breathing, because I know you're breathing right now. I'm talking about like the manner by which you breathe. So I want you to take some time with me. I'm going to do it right now. And I want you to feel what it feels like to be restored in that prayer, right? Because the prayer, when you pray it, it's as if it's already so. So you're going to want to know what it feels like to be in that. So let's take a moment to take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Take another deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. You're welcome. Because that's the feeling of restoration. Could you imagine actually making that your practice every single day? That you say the declaration, that you give thanks that it is already so, and that you feel as though you're already living it. I will guarantee it that you won't need a vacation. What you'll know is that you need this restoration every single day of your life. Again, and I know that it seems like that where we should start is asking God for that, right? Praying that prayer. But first, I'm just going to let you know a lot of people, we struggle. You have to decide, right? Because you have to believe and you have to be willing to be open enough. And that's why I say a therapist or myself or other people who talk like this is important so that you can start to believe in what the ultimate source of restoration is, which is God, right? Which is praying this prayer. It's in your divinity. You deserve this. You don't have to live a life of burnout all the time. That is not, that it has, that does not have to be your cadence. You can live differently. Do you believe that? I want you to respond to me. Say a little note. I mean, because sometimes I'm kind of alone. I don't hear from you guys. I would love to hear from you. I would love to know what you think. And I just, I want to share, I want to close this podcast by letting you know again about this beautiful opportunity that we've created for you. My team, the Rise with Diana team, and of course, Catherine Phillips, who's now our Rise with Diana consultant, we put together this audio series called The Authenticity Code, right? It's for you to own your power and to remove all fear that holds you back from what it is that you deserve in this life. So we would love, we're going to put the link in the notes for you to be able to pick up that authenticity code, share your email, your name, and we're going to email it to you. In over 3 days, you're going to be able to hear that, just like you hear this podcast, right? But this is actually a consistent 3-day coaching session through our audio series. We've thought of everything because we know that you need to be immersed in this. We've got some renewing, some refreshment that we want to give you and restoration. That's what you're allowed to have in this life, and we want you to have it. Okay, my sis? Does this sound like a plan? I think it's a good plan. And I hope that you take us up on that. And also, please like, subscribe this podcast, share this with someone that you know, that you love. Give them this type of peace. Let them know that they can have this type of peace, this type of restoration, peace that passes any kind of understanding that they can even know right now. Okay? That's the beauty of this. All right, my sis. Thank you so much for being with us today. We'll see you next time.